Alright, so we're trading the ES on a 2000 tick chart with the 21 EMA. So price started in this downtrend. We had a break, new low, and this is where I drew the overnight lows, and this is where I drew the overnight highs. And so after the downtrend played out, we went into this range right here. And so this, I started around 7 looking at the chart around here, and price broke out of the range, pulled back, made a new high for the uptrend, and then I was looking at this trade right here like a fade, but after the fact, I did notice that it did break out, pull back off the range, which means the range is played out. So I do still think this trade is good. I didn't have this downtrend at the time, and this was a massive trade. The bar doesn't look like it's 28 ticks, but it is. So that's 6 points. That is a 6 point scalp, and so the uptrend played out. We rushed below the EMA and got a reversal pattern. First entry long, second entry long, failure. Entered at the low of the bar, 1 to 1, worked pretty fast, and it was 6 points. So that was an amazing trade this morning. And so then we do go into this downtrend. First leg down, break. You can look for a short to go short here. We have a correction to the EMA, break, new high. It does look kind of good, but it is have multiple bars stacked up, so I didn't really feel like taking that. But we get into this downtrend, and this is, or I did not take this trade. So make that blue. So downtrend, break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower. I was really considering going short here, but I ended up not taking it because I was wanting it to get right off the EMA, and then when it didn't get off the EMA, it didn't touch the EMA. I just decided not to take it. But really, I should have taken it. I just had it in my mind that I really wanted it off the EMA, and then when it didn't make it, it just kind of scared me out of it. But I do think this is a good trade. You would have had enough room down to these lows. It's a lower high, expecting a new low for the downtrend. Looks like a good trade to me. So then we do make a new low, and then we get a reversal pattern. First entry short, second entry short, failure, rushing above the EMA. But here, you're not off the EMA. You don't have your signal bar is congestive with these other bars. It just really does, it's also right back into these. You can look at it like a fade, maybe, but it's directly into this trend line, and you are finding resistance because as soon as you close above, you close back below. So it doesn't look like that great of an entry. Um, then we rush back down. Oh, and also we do also have 2 legs up already for it, which is another reason not to go 2 measured legs. And so that could just mean the end of the move there. So then we rush back below. We get a lower high, failed second entry. It's not off the EMA. It's at the very low of the move. You would want to enter on a deeper pullback, so I don't think that going short there is a good idea. So then we get these 2 legs up. At this point, you can draw a trend line there, put it down to these lows. You can't take that because at the time it's not off of anything. That's where the trend line sets up. So I don't think there's any short here. But then you get a first entry long, second entry long, failure. Now, I would not want to take this just because of this clear resistance at the low, or the support that's forming at the lows. So I would not want to go short directly into that. But we do push through it. We get another touch off the lows of the trend line, that would be established from this low right here. We go into a range, we chop up and down, and then we get a breakout. Most breakouts fail. The bias is down. I don't think it's that bad to take because it's right off the key entry point. It closes out of this uptrend. Usually you'd want the uptrend to have an attempt to play out, but the bias is quite down. It's very down actually. So I don't think it's that bad if you took it. I did not take it. I do still get scared out of a lot of trades. Um, but it is a breakout. Most breakouts fail off the key entry point with the bias, so it's really not that bad looking in hindsight. So now we have 2 legs up. We go into another range. We get a breakout, except it clearly would have a short-term trend line blocking the entry. Break, new low. At these lows, I still wouldn't want to buy just because of the bias being so down. Um, I believe you would have gotten out as long as you tried to get out before these highs, though. I don't know if you would have gotten a one-to-one trade on that, though. So, yeah, it looks like you would have barely not gotten your target filled on that if you went for exactly one-to-one. Unless you got in one tick early, then you would have gotten out. But you just needed room to these highs. So then we go into this downtrend. Nothing gets to the EMA. You know, it's very shallow pullbacks, just first entries all the way down. No trades that I would be willing to take. Then we have a downtrend, break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower, failure. And, you know, it is a reversal pattern, but it does have these two legs up already, and it's closing below the EMA after every push up. So I just don't think that it's good to go long there. And so then we go into this uptrend right here. We have a break, new high, so two legs up. Or we do have a break and a new high there, but that is just very small, and on a bigger picture you would see this as two legs up, and therefore uptrend break, new high up here. Then we get a reversal pattern back down, first entry long, second entry long, failure, but it's so congestive, 4 or 5 bars stacked right up against each other, you just cannot go short there. Close back up, immediately close back down, it's chopping around in this range, which at first I had this range somewhat like this, but eventually I did lower it, and then when I started making these highs, I had raised it. So we have these two legs down, we broke out of these lows, it's getting very choppy, very hard to trade, but I did get this last trade right here. So I was able to draw this uptrend. It was kind of hard to spot, but you can find it. Clear lows, highs, just broke out after two legs down, it just faded, and then you get this signal bar off. It's two legs down. This does break higher, but that is basically two legs down. Third bounce here, and then the higher low confirming it right there. Now, I was concerned about it closing below the EMA, but it is kind of congestive, but I did think that it was alright, just considering how many times it's held off this trend line. Coming in from a fade, I thought that it was an okay trade to take, and it ended up being a very, 15 ticks, so very good. We go up, test the highs of this channel again, a couple legs down, the trend line holds again, and again, we do have a break here, new high. So at this point, the uptrend is played out. Then we get a more convincing break and new high. So assuming that you had your channel slightly altered, maybe like that, you would still have a break and a new high, no matter how you have it drawn. So we get to these highs, and now we have this triple top over here. And just by the way, at this point, around 12:20, I did stop trading, so I'm going over stuff I haven't traded. So I will try to find some more trades. But so the uptrend played out. We have a triple top. We're in this range. Then we get a reversal pattern down, but it's all completely above the EMA, so there's no way that you can take it. It's getting very choppy, and it's getting a lot harder to trade at this point, it looks like. Goes below, immediately close back above. EMA is flat. Hard to find any entries in here. I don't think that there's anything worth taking here. Then we push down. We get to the lows again. We have a break, new low for this downtrend. Then we get a correction, not quite to the EMA, but we get a second entry short, not to the EMA, another push down. Then we do get a correction to the EMA. You can draw this trend line. You get a break, attempt at a new high. EMA holds it down. The signal bar is way too huge, and it's the width of this range that's starting to form. So I really don't think there's anything to take here. Then we get a breakout, pullback, two attempts to breakout, pullback. We do get a breakout, pullback here. Also off the EMA, bar is way too big to enter on. Or it's not necessarily that it's just too big, but the entry is too far away from the EMA. is what I mean. So you wouldn't want to go for 1-to-1 on a bar like that far away, and at the lows of the move. Then we push back above the EMA, get this uptrend, small uptrend, overshoot, break, first attempt to make a new high, and then you don't get a second attempt until all the way down here. So let's see if you can draw another trend here. Something like this. It doesn't look perfect, but it is, it is a downtrend break, new low. And then you get an attempted reversal pattern, first entry short, and then you don't get a second entry till all the way up here, so there's no way you can take this as a reversal pattern. But we do reverse. Then we get a correction to the EMA. EMA holds, no good signal bar, no way that you can take a long here. So this uptrend, I don't know if that's perfect, but uptrend break, new high. There's a higher low here, but obviously you don't want to take it directly into this this double top right here, so I don't, even the engulfing bar, so I don't think that's worth taking. Then we get a push down, get a break, new low, then a higher low, closing right above the EMA. It doesn't look too bad considering it looks like it might be reversing, but the bias is down. Doesn't mean you can't buy at all, but I would be wary. It really doesn't look that bad. I think I would probably mark this trade. It really doesn't look bad. And then here we get a leg up, I get a second entry long. Now this trade, I do kind of like this trade looking right here because it has enough room to the highs, even for 1-to-1, even if you had entered on the end of the bar. And that would have been a 16 tick trade. Second entry long, and then for this uptrend right here, uptrend, break, expecting a new high, break, first attempt higher, you're entering on the second attempt to go higher, second entry long off the EMA. I think that's a pretty good looking trade, to be honest. And then we make a new high, and then we have a move down, and that's it for the day. I hope you all learned something. So I'll go over the trades that I took over here. So this is 15 ticks here, and then it was 6 points on the other trade. So this is 3 3/4 points plus 6, so that's 9 3/4 points in one day, just on 2 trades. That's a lot of points. So anyway, hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.